ever wondered why certain individuals seem completely unaffected by whatever life throws at them? Why does it appear as though nothing disturbs their peace, while others seem to become frustrated over the smallest things? What if I told you that this ability isn't something you're born with, but rather something you can learn, something you can master? It's not that some people are born unshakable, it's that they've learned how to be. Take a moment and look around. You'll notice that the most powerful people in the world aren't necessarily the ones who speak the loudest or respond the quickest. Instead, they are the ones who remain calm. They are the ones who seem unaffected by negativity, impervious to criticism, and unmoved by the chaos surrounding them. It's not that they don't feel emotions. They do. But they've learned one crucial thing. Reacting takes away your power. The moment you show frustration, anger, or insecurity, you are handing over control to the outside world. You let others, situations, and random events dictate how you feel. And once that happens, you're no longer in control of yourself. Your emotions are manipulated like a puppet. Consider the most composed person you know. Maybe it's a leader, a mentor, or someone you admire. What sets them apart? It's their ability to remain still when chaos erupts around them. They don't feel the need to explain themselves or rush to defend their actions. They don't compromise their peace just to prove a point. That's because they have mastered a mental strategy, the ability to act unaffected even when they are. Here's the secret. If you carry yourself with calmness, your emotions begin to align with that calmness. Over time, this stops being something you pretend to do. It becomes your natural state. This is why acting unbothered can be so powerful. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance, which occurs when your actions don't match your emotions. Your brain works hard to reconcile the two. When you act confidently, you become confident. When you act unfazed, you become unfazed. But it works both ways. The more you react to things, the more power you lose. Every time you engage in a pointless argument or allow something to disturb your peace, you reinforce the idea that the world has control over you. So from today onward, you need to make a decision. Will you allow the world to dictate your emotions? Or will you take back control? What happens when you stop reacting to everything? Imagine walking into a room where someone tries to insult you, but you don't react. You don't defend yourself. You don't explain yourself. You just smile and move forward. What happens next? At first, they might try harder to provoke you, but something interesting will occur. They'll lose interest. They'll see that their words have no power over you, and they'll stop trying to provoke you. That's how human psychology works. People only push your buttons when they know they work, but when you stop reacting, you take away their control. That's when you become powerful. From now on, commit to this one mindset: nothing outside of me controls me. I choose what affects me. I decide where my energy goes. Every time you feel the urge to react, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? 9 times out of 10, the answer will be no. You are not your emotions. You are the observer of them. Most people believe that emotions control them, that feelings of anger, sadness, or frustration are forces they must obey. But that's an illusion. The truth is that emotions don't control you. Your reactions to them do. The moment you realize this, you gain something that most people never will: freedom. Think about the last time something upset you. Maybe someone said something hurtful, or maybe a situation didn't go your way. Now ask yourself, was it the event that disturbed you, or was it your reaction to it? Your mind is a powerful machine, constantly creating emotions based on how you interpret the world. If you view an insult as an attack on your worth, you'll feel hurt. But if you view it as meaningless noise, It carries no weight. The strongest people don't lack emotions. They simply choose not to let them dictate their actions. They understand that feelings are temporary, but decisions have lasting consequences. So instead of reacting impulsively, they pause, observe, and choose how to respond. And in that small space between emotion and reaction, they reclaim their power. This is emotional mastery. When you stop letting your emotions control you, everything changes. Stress no longer breaks you. People's opinions lose their grip on you. Unexpected challenges no longer shake your confidence. You're no longer a slave to your feelings. You are in control. Starting now, whenever an emotion rises within you, don't fight it. Don't suppress it. Just acknowledge it. And then ask yourself, is this worth my energy? The moment you begin to choose your responses instead of reacting impulsively, you step into a level of power that most people never reach, a power that makes you unshakable. Your mind believes whatever you tell it. Every thought, every reaction, every emotion you reinforce becomes a habit. If you constantly react with frustration, your mind learns that frustration is your default state. If you let stress control you, your brain adapts to see stress as normal. But the good news is that you can rewire your mind. Resilience isn't about being emotionless. It's about conditioning your mind to remain steady no matter what. Psychologists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reprogram itself based on repeated experiences. This is where real strength is built. Imagine two people facing the same challenge. One crumbles under pressure, consumed by negativity. The other stays calm, assessing the situation without panic. What's the difference? Their mental conditioning. The first person has trained their brain to react emotionally. The second person has trained their brain to remain steady. Which one do you think holds more power? Your mind is always listening to you. Every time you choose to stay calm, rather than reacting, you teach it that you're in control. Every time you act unaffected, even when emotions try to take over, you train yourself to become stronger, and over time, something incredible happens. What once took effort becomes effortless. What started as an act of being unbothered turns into being unbothered. This is how resilience is built, not in a day, not through force, but through consistent practice. So from this moment forward, whenever something tries to shake you, remember this. Your mind believes what you feed it. Feed it strength. Feed it control. Feed it the belief that nothing can break you. Because once your mind adapts to this belief, the world loses its power to shake you. Your mind follows your actions more than your feelings. This is why one of the most powerful psychological tricks you can use is to act as if nothing bothers you, even when it does. Most people wait to feel confident before they act confidently. They wait to feel unbothered before they stop reacting. But that's not how the mind works. Action comes first. Feelings follow. Think about a time when you forced yourself to smile even though you didn't feel happy. What happened? Your mood began to shift. That's because your brain takes cues from your body. The same principle applies to emotional control. If you stop behaving as though negativity doesn't affect you, your brain begins to believe it. Your emotions start to align with your actions. Over time, this stops being an act. It becomes your natural state. This isn't about pretending. It's about training your mind. When someone insults you, instead of reacting, pause. Stay silent. Let their words disappear into nothingness. Your lack of reaction sends a powerful message, not just to them, but to yourself. When life throws unexpected challenges your way, straighten your posture, slow your breathing, and handle it with composure. Even if frustration rises inside, don't let it control your actions. The more you practice this, the more automatic it becomes. At first, it may feel unnatural, but soon it will become second nature. One day you'll wake up and realize that things that once triggered you no longer affect you. By acting unbothered, you've become unbothered. And when you reach that point, nothing, not people, not circumstances, not even your own fleeting emotions can shake you. The world is full of people who will test your patience. Some will criticize you. Some will try to provoke a reaction. Others will attempt to make you feel small, insecure, or unworthy. But here's what most people don't realize. The moment you react, you lose. Why? Because when someone can trigger your emotions, they have power over you. The more you respond with anger, frustration, or defensiveness, the more control you hand over to them. This is exactly what they want, to see you affected, disturbed, and manipulated. But that's not how emotional control works. It's not about who is right or wrong, it's about who remains in control. Have you ever noticed how some people love to push buttons? They say things just to get a reaction. They test your boundaries. They feed off drama. Why? Because your reaction gives them validation. It proves that their words have weight. But the moment you stop reacting, something shifts. They lose interest. They get frustrated. They realize they have no power over you. And this is where true strength lies, not in arguing, not in explaining, but in silence, in calmness, in showing without a single word that nothing they say or do can shake you. From now on, whenever someone tries to provoke you, remind yourself, their words mean nothing unless you give them, ignore them, not because you're weak, but because you refuse to hand over your power. Once you master this, the game changes. You no longer move through life reacting to every little thing. Instead, you move with control, confidence, and an unshakable presence. And when people realize they can't manipulate your emotions, they stop trying. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every comment needs a response. Not every situation requires your energy. Most people spend their lives reacting, absorbing negativity, engaging in meaningless battles, and letting small things disturb their peace. But here's the truth. What you ignore loses its power over you. Negativity is like fire. It only grows when you feed it. Every time you engage with toxic people, every time you dwell on criticism, every time you let frustration take over, you're adding fuel to the fire. But the moment you withdraw your energy, the fire dies. This is the power of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you refuse to let external chaos control your inner state. It means recognizing that not everything is worth your reaction. Think about it. How many times have you lost sleep over someone's words? How many hours have you wasted replaying negative situations in your mind? And for what? Did it change anything, or did it just drain you? From this moment on, make a decision. Protect your energy. When negativity comes your way, step back, observe it, and then choose to let it go. Not because you're avoiding reality, but because you refuse to give your peace away so easily. This is how the strongest people operate. They don't engage in unnecessary battles. They don't waste energy on things that don't serve them. They stay focused, calm, and untouchable. And once you master this, you'll notice something powerful. Your silence becomes louder than words, and your indifference becomes your greatest strength. The difference between weak and strong people is one simple habit: the ability to pause before reacting. Most people operate on impulse. The moment something upsets them, they lash out. The second they feel disrespected, they argue. Without thinking, without control. They let emotions take over. But here's the truth. Your first reaction is usually your weakest one. Powerful people don't react. They respond. They create space between the trigger and their action. That space, the pause, is where real strength is built. Next time something provokes you, try this. Don't react immediately. Take a deep breath. Feel the emotion rise, but don't act on it. Just observe it. Let it pass through you like those who are easily manipulated from those who command respect. When you pause, you force others to wait. You make them uncertain. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't see you. When you pause, you recruit. The next time someone insults you, pause. The next time frustration rises, pause. The next time life tests you, pause. Because in that small moment of stillness, you make the decision that weak people never make, the decision to stay in control. Indifference is not weakness. It is strength. It is one of the most powerful things you can ever have. Many people think that showing emotions is a symbol of strength, that expressing things like frustration, anger, or excitement somehow shows they are alive, engaged, and in control. But the reality is that the most powerful individuals are often the ones who are the most indifferent. Indifference isn't about not caring, it's about choosing what you care about. It's about realizing you have the power to decide which emotions deserve your energy and which ones don't. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how some people can insult or provoke others, yet those people stay calm? They don't argue, they don't try to explain, and they don't even appear disturbed. They simply don't react. That's indifference at its finest. Indifference isn't about being cold or disconnected from the world. It's about choosing not to let trivial things disturb your peace. It's about demonstrating to the world that you can't be manipulated by their words, actions, or opinions. The more you embrace indifference, the more untouchable you become. The more you stop engaging with minor matters, the less power those matters have over you. It's not that you don't care about the important things, it's that you refuse to waste energy on things that won't change your reality. So every time something tries to pull you out of your calm, remind yourself, I am indifferent to what does not serve me. This doesn't mean you shut the world out. It means you stop letting the world control your emotions. You hold the power to decide how you feel. No one else does. And when you embody this level of indifference, you start moving through life with an unshakable calm, a silent strength that no one can disturb. Staying unbothered doesn't happen in a day. It's not something you wake up with. It's something you develop, one decision at a time. The mind works like a muscle. Just as you train your body to get stronger, you can train your mind to be unshakable. It starts with small moments, little decisions, and continuous practice. At first, it may feel unnatural. When life throws you a curveball, your instinct may be to react. But the more you pause and choose not to engage, the easier it becomes over time. Your mind will learn to remain calm when faced with stress, frustration, or negativity. Every time you allow a minor annoyance to pass without reacting, you're building resilience. Every time you stay silent in the face of criticism, you're strengthening your mental toughness. And eventually, your brain adapts. What once felt like effort will soon become your default. But the key is consistency. Like with physical training, you need to put in the work. You have to practice this mindset every day. It may not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. Think of it like training for a marathon. In the beginning, every step might feel like a struggle, but as you keep going, your body and mind get stronger. Eventually, you'll be able to face challenges that once would have shaken you, and you'll handle them with ease. Start small. Let the little things go. Don't let minor annoyances steal your peace. Practice staying calm in situations where you typically react. And with time, you'll notice the shift. You won't be shaken, you won't be disturbed, you'll be unbothered. And that will become your new way of living. One of the strongest forces in maintaining emotional control is self-respect. When you respect yourself deeply, you recognize that you deserve peace and emotional stability. You realize that you don't need to prove anything to anyone, and you certainly don't need to defend your peace to anyone. You know that you're respected is the foundation of external chaos. Reacting to every little disturbance signals that you don't value your emotional peace. It shows that you've allowed external factors to control your inner state. But when you cultivate self-respect, you establish boundaries with the world. Through your actions, you send the message, I value my peace too much to let you disturb it. This doesn't mean you cut people off or become distant. It means you maintain control over how much power others have over your emotions. But you don't let negativity or criticism erode your sense of self-worth. The more you respect yourself, the more you realize that not everything is worth your emotional reaction. Your emotional energy becomes precious, and you begin investing it only in things that truly matter. And as you protect it, your emotional strength continues to grow. Self-respect isn't just a mindset, it's a way of life. When you practice it daily, you'll start noticing that nothing, no matter how harsh the comments or how big the challenges, can touch your inner peace. A major source of emotional disturbance is expectations. We expect things to go a certain way, we expect people to act how we want, and we expect life to unfold according to our plans. When reality doesn't meet these expectations, we get frustrated, angry, or upset. But here's the secret to emotional freedom. Let go of your expectations. When you let go of expectations, you stop setting yourself up for disappointment. Expectations are future-oriented. They're based on things that haven't happened yet, and often on things beyond your control. When you expect life to unfold a certain way and it doesn't, you create unnecessary emotional turmoil. But if you stop expecting, you stop giving life the power to disappoint you. You stop letting others control your happiness. You let go of the need for everything to go perfectly. This doesn't mean you stop aiming for goals or setting intentions. It simply means you stop relying on a specific outcome to define your peace. You accept that life will have its ups and downs, that people may disappoint you, and that things rarely go exactly as planned. But instead of reacting, you choose to stay calm, accepting, and unbothered by it all. When you let go of expectations, you make room for more peace. You stop getting worked up about what should have happened, and you start embracing what's actually happening. This simple shift, letting go of what you think should be and accepting what is, can completely transform the way you experience life. It helps you detach from disappointment, frustration, and resentment. It allows you to move through life with ease instead of fighting against it. So, start today. Release your attachment to expectations. Accept that life is unpredictable. And in that unpredictability, you'll find your greatest strength. When you no longer expect life to meet your demands, you stop giving anything the power to steal your peace. One of the most crucial steps in mastering emotional control is learning to set emotional boundaries. Boundaries aren't just physical. They're mental, emotional, and psychological lines that protect your peace. They define how much power others can have over your emotions. Without boundaries, you become vulnerable to the world around you. You let people's words, actions, and behaviors dictate how you feel, and in doing so, you lose your power. When you set emotional boundaries, you define what's acceptable and what's not in terms of how others treat you. You stop allowing anyone to treat you in a way that disrupts your inner calm. This doesn't mean building walls or becoming defensive. It means ensuring that your peace is non-negotiable. Think about how often you've been influenced by someone else's behavior. Maybe someone snapped at you. or you got caught up in a toxic conversation, what happened next? You reacted. You let their emotional state control yours. But what if, instead of reacting, you set an emotional boundary? What if, when someone tried to provoke you or drag you into negativity, you simply didn't allow it? This doesn't mean ignoring people or shutting them out. It means not taking on their emotional burdens. You don't let their problems become your problems. You stay grounded in your own emotional space, no matter what's happening around you. Setting emotional boundaries means not letting anyone's bad mood determine your own. It means not allowing other people's negativity to become your reality. It means refusing to let toxic people take up space in your mind. When you master the art of emotional boundaries, you become unshakable. You no longer allow others to have the power to affect your peace. You are protected by the strong foundation you've built within yourself. So today, start building those boundaries. Recognize when someone or something is trying to drain your emotional energy and simply refuse to let it. Protect your peace, and in doing so, protect your power. Self-control is the backbone of emotional mastery. Without it, you are a leaf drifting in the wind at the mercy of every gust. With self-control, you become the storm-focused, unwavering, and strong. The truth is, most of the time, we're not angry because of what someone did. We're not frustrated because of a situation. We're frustrated because we didn't control our reactions. Self-control is the ability to pause, reflect, and then choose how to respond, not the other way around. It's a skill that takes practice, but once it's developed, it gives you the power to control your emotional state no matter what's happening around you. Imagine responding to criticism with grace. Picture yourself facing a stressful situation, and instead of losing your temper, you remain calm, composed, and collected. That's the power of self-portrayal. It's the ability to stay in charge of your emotions and not let them take over. When you cultivate self-portrayal, you stop being a prisoner to your impulses. You stop reacting with anger or frustration because you recognize that those emotions don't serve you. Instead, you choose a response that aligns with your highest self, one that maintains your peace and keeps you in control of your... Here's the key. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. The moment you start exercising self-control, you stop being a victim to your emotions. You can't control your feelings. It's about choosing not to let those feelings dictate your action. So the next time life throws something at you, whether it's criticism, an unexpected setback, or a difficult person, remember that you are in control. You decide how to respond. The more you practice self-control, the more you become the calm, unwavering presence in any storm. One of the most profound truths in life is that holding on to past grievances, negative emotions, or unhealed wounds only weakens you. It prevents you from fully embracing the present and stops you from becoming the strongest version of yourself. Letting go is the key to emotional freedom. It's not about forgetting or pretending that things didn't hurt you. It's about choosing to release the grip those emotions have on you. When you hold on to resentment, anger, or regret, you're letting those emotions control you. You're allowing the past to dictate your present, and most importantly, you're giving others in past situations the power to disturb your peace, even long after they've passed. But what happens when you let go? When you let go, you free yourself. You stop carrying emotional baggage that weighs you down. You stop letting old wounds dictate your behavior today. And by doing so, you reclaim your peace, your energy, and your power. Letting go requires trust. Trust that the past is behind you, that the pain no longer defines who you are becoming. It's an act of self-liberation a declaration that your peace and emotional well-being are far more important than clinging to anything that no longer serves you. Imagine walking through life without anything weighing you down. No past regrets, no old grudges, no unnecessary drama. Picture yourself light as air, moving through challenges with grace and strength because you no longer let them attach themselves to your soul. That is the power of letting go. It frees you, it empowers you, it transforms you. So today, decide to let go. Let go of the anger, let go of the resentment, and let go of the disappointments. And in doing so, make room for the peace and strength that have always been inside you. The power is yours. Silence holds unparalleled power in a world that thrives on noise, drama, and verbal sparring. Silence is the most potent weapon in your emotional arsenal. When faced with conflict, frustration, or attempts to provoke you, silence speaks louder than words. It's a response that doesn't need justification, defense, or engagement. It's the ultimate display of control and self-respect. Think about it. When you choose silence in the face of a difficult situation, you take the power away from the other person. You refuse to let their words or actions dictate your response. Silence isn't weakness, it's strength in its purest form. When you remain silent, you create space for reflection. You give yourself the time to think, process, and decide how you want to react, if at all. Most people react impulsively, driven by their emotions. But when you embrace silence, you separate yourself from that chaos. You become the observer, not the participant. Silence also protects you from saying things you might later regret. It allows you to step back and assess the situation with clarity and calm, rather than responding out of anger or frustration. The words you don't say are often more powerful than the ones you do. In any situation, silence signals that you are in control. It shows you are unaffected by the drama, unaffected by the noise, and unaffected by attempts to pull you into chaos. You choose peace over conflict. You choose strength over weakness. So the next time you're provoked or find yourself in a situation that threatens your emotional peace, remember, silence is your strength. Embrace it, let it be your shield, because in the quiet moments you hold the greatest power, the power to stay calm, composed, and unbothered. No matter